Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sandown Finale Day. This is the Racing Social Finale Day preview. We've got a full house tonight. Jay's back, Matty and Dawn are back, and of course, Jamie, always a pleasure having you on. Hope you're well and looking forward to Finale Day, I hope.
Hi, Joe. Yeah, very much looking forward to it. It's always a good day, isn't it? It really is. It's a way to celebrate what's been a great season, and the only bad part about it is at the end of the day, the clock all goes back to zero, and we've got to start again.
Yeah, I did notice this season, though, Jamie, you had a brilliant season. 19% strike rate, I understand, which is that's just superb in my opinion. Obviously, you've had the Paddy Power Gold Cup galore, and you wear it well, has won 2 Grade 2s, and obviously that's all right. Gino capped it off last week with a Grade 2, so it's been another fantastic campaign for you, hasn't it, really? Yeah,
thanks, Joe. It's been brilliant. Yeah, 44 winners. I think we were 50 winners last season, but 480,000 in prize money. So just a couple of winners less, but we're 700,000. So prize money's been brilliant this year.
Yeah, and I will remember Garlaw's win for the rest of my life. That was just being there and witnessing that fantastic race, and he really dug in well for you, didn't he?
Yeah, it was. We certainly enjoyed that one.
Definitely. And Matty, good season for you and the Ben Pauling team?
Best season we've ever had. 80 winners so far. Best season we ever had was 44 before this season. Obviously, moving into the new yard has done wonders for the horses. 5 runners at Sandown Saturday, so hopefully we can finish season off with a winner and hopefully give Luca a winner to crown his champion conditional as well.
Yeah, great season for Luca. Dawn, magnificent season.
Oh, brilliant. Everything you could want and more, Joe. Like, it was just delivered. And when you think back now to October where it all began, and also apologies and congratulations, Jamie, because every time you gave me a winner on here and I sat here and I went, but Jamie said, and even that's all right, Gino, last week I was going, it's a manifest, and congratulations, because my God, what a season, and it's added to it, and it's been an honor sitting on with you too, to say like, God, that, we were talking to the trainer and literally then he bangs in a Cheltenham winner, a Gold Cup winner. It's just, no, it was brilliant. And Irish as well, we've done so well, and Punchestown this week and everything, it just keeps delivering. And yeah, it's a bit of you're coming to the end now. You're saying goodbye to these horses that we have come to know and love, but I'm excited already now after seeing El Fabiola just there literally an hour ago again, what he is going to do next year. I cannot wait, and there's some really classy bumper horses coming, so excited and delighted. It's not goodbye, it's just see you later.
And good to have you on, Jay. I know you look forward to the flat, but at the start of the season we sat here, me and you, talking about Constitution Hill, and never any doubt, really, was there?
No, he hasn't let anyone down all season, as he's done exactly what we expect him to do, and that's just win every race and win every race easy.
Yeah, and look forward to next season, and we hopefully chasing is on the horizon.
Yeah.
So we start off in the 5 past 1, the novice handicap hurdle final over 2 miles. Jamie, you can have first pop at this. Have you got a run in this one, I understand?
Yeah, we do. We run Mildam. He's quite a big price. He's a bit of a quirky devil. He won very nicely, having done his wins. We ran him in the Fred Winter last year. He was mid-division in the Boodles Fred Winter. He's come back this year, placed a couple of times over hurdles. Slightly frustrating that he didn't go and win. I did his win, came out and won at Huntingdon. Takes a bit of knowing. James Davies we were out in the novice hurdle last time out just to go and finish in the first 4 to qualify for this. He gets in here off a nice weight. He's a big price. But stranger things have happened, and hopefully he can run well.
Yeah, look forward to that. Jay, I know you love these handicap hurdles, and obviously Nichols is going to be a man possessed on Saturday like last year. Do you fancy any of the Nichols horses?
I don't know. The one I actually fancy is a Nigel Twist and Davis horse, Sergeant Wilson. I think he's got a good each way chance. He was a horse that I've always thought was very green and inexperienced, but always running with huge potential. Now I've just started to come around to the idea that he's just a very quirky horse. He's had 7 starts so far, and he's still as wild now as he was when he bolted up in his bumper. Both of his wins have been on really sharp tracks, just shy of 2 miles, I think. And at last time out at Doncaster, he just took off from the start. He led from pillar to the shades of the post. The only time he wasn't in front was just on top of the line where he got chinned. If there's ever a chance of burying this horse, it's in the 16-runner field at Sandown. Quick ground, they should be going really quick, and I'm hoping they just manage to hold on to him rather than just let him tear off like they have been doing. They've tried him with the hood on. I'm not sure that helps much. If anything, it might even make it worse. I know Jamie just said this horse is quirky, but I think this horse is even quirkier. But sometimes them quirky horses surprise you. And I think 14-1 each way is a decent price for this one.
Okay. Matty, you run Joe the Dancer. You expected big things at the start of the season, didn't you?
Yeah, he's been very, very disappointing, especially on his homework. Obviously, we had his win done, and he come out and won last time at Southall. He won very nicely and finally showed what we all knew he was capable of. I mean, we all backed him at the start of the season for a Supreme or a Ballymore before he even ran. That's how much we rated him. I've put him forward for this race because I'm being a bit biased and I know what he's like at home. He's a very, very good workhorse. He could be a sort of if he learns to breathe, which is what he's done after his last win, and understands he can breathe when he runs now. 12-1, solid each way bet, but you are risking that chance on his wind.
Yeah. And Dawn probably knows who I fancy in this race. And that's cracking little chestnut filly Under Control. She really took my eye on the Lambourne Open day. She was thrown into the mare's novice, properly thrown in the deep end. She just didn't handle the occasion at all. But she won nicely at Cheltenham earlier this month, 2 mile 1. She's gone up £7 for that, but that could be warranted in my opinion. She's learning and improving every race. Nico, Nikki, top connections, JP. I think she'll run a big race. And Dawn, do you like the chestnut filly yourself?
Well, we've seen like with Dino Blue today, a good chestnut filly, a good redhead. What I like about her is, Joe, obviously she's got the you wear it well form there, albeit 20th to you wear it well, but you're following Cheltenham. The only thing I worry about is it coming too soon? We're only a week since her last win. I looked at Kill Alone too. What I like about him is that 24,000 purchase from Johnny Murta, and on the flat refused to get into the stalls when running against the Mediterranean. So there's no stalls anymore. Won and ran well and good to soft. Won at Thornton. The horse that was second was Western General. That won 19 days ago. And bet very, very good horse, 11 lengths. Wasn't fluent that day, but still won. So you've got Harry and Paul, and sure Paul's going to be as eager as a beaver to win everything. Who I do like too is I'm going to go with my Inniston form, and Love Is Golden form. 12-1, whole town. Freddie Gingle's up. He's taken 7 off. It's wearing a tongue strap. So at a little bit more value, 12-1 there. But I like Kill Alone, and probably Jamie's is going to hack up because that's what usually happens on the pod.
So now we'll move on to the Celebration Chase. This is the day's main event. Cracking field once again, a lot stronger than last year's field, if you ask me. And Jamie, what do you make of John Bon stepping into open company from novice?
Yeah, so I was surprised they ran him in the 2 mile race at Aintree. I could have sworn they're going to go up to 2.5 after Cheltenham. But you couldn't help but be impressed with him at Aintree. He looked brilliant, didn't he? And listen, the only 2 times he's been beaten by Constitution Hill and El Fabiola. Maybe he doesn't get the credit that perhaps he deserves, but he did look I know he didn't beat much at Aintree, but he was very good, wasn't he? Jumped very slickly. He didn't jump well at Cheltenham, I didn't think. But if he jumps as well as he did at Aintree round Sandown, then listen, he looks. You can pick holes in all of the other form, I think, really. And you probably can't pick holes in his form. So, yeah, I think John Bon's the worthy favourite.
Okay. You mentioned Sandown and the jumping there. Sandown is a proper jumping track, isn't it? You can't jump poorly around that, especially with fences.
No, he jumped very well around there in the Henry VIII.
Yeah, he was good.
He was very. The Warwick run. Listen, whatever. I was disappointed with how he jumped at Cheltenham for whatever reason. I don't know why he didn't jump well that day. But he was brilliant at Aintree and back on song. You can say. You've got to say, he's unbeaten apart from the 2 superstars. Yeah,
very, very true. Very true. Matty, are you in the John Bon camps? I know you quite like him.
Yeah, you've got to, haven't you? I mean, he was brilliant at Aintree. And I know he's very good in the Henry VIII, but I actually do question his jumping. And I think he will win, but I think Grenadine has got obviously a fantastic record round Sandown. Jumps great round there. Won a Tingle Creek, was second in a Tingle Creek. Won the race last year. And we all know what Nichols does to this meeting. He attacks it. Obviously, John Bond ran at 8-3. Although he wasn't really asked to do a lot, he still had a race. So whether it comes a bit soon from Cheltenham 8-3 to Sandown for John Bond, I don't know. I mean, but a reverse forecast of the two of them is the bet, I think. Nothing will get near the two of them.
Yeah, are we overlooking Captain Guinness?
No, I don't think he's anywhere near the level of the other two, to be honest, Joe. I actually think on good ground around Sandown, obviously that's bread and butter stuff for Grenadine. He's a completely different horse here on good ground than he is anywhere else. But obviously, as we was discussing, he's plenty of range here, so that changes things. Don't know, John Bon has got £9 on official ratings to find with Grenadine, and it's a big jump from novice company to open company. And I know you say he has only been beat by 2 superstars, which is true, but the times he's looked good, it's also been against when he's been beaten up inferior rivals, when he's been allowed to do that. I'm not sure I think if Grenadine puts a bit of pressure on him, I honestly don't think John Bond's a natural 2-miler. I do think he's going to want a trip next season. I couldn't see him lining up in a champion chase or anything like that. Obviously, at the same time, Grenadine's not good enough to win a champion chase, but I think he's being placed into anyway. If the ground was good by whatever reason, I'd side more with Grenadine. But obviously, if the ground goes, then it's only going to favour John Bond. I don't think the others are good enough, to be fair.
Okay. And Dawn, if the rain does come, it surely brings Editor de Gite into it, doesn't he?
That's what I thought, Joe. I kind of go, are we disregarding him again the way we did before? You know, like we did have Niall on, and he believes in that horse. Truly, he believes in him. And look, he just at Cheltenham, what he met was a superstar, and we see in what way Nerjamin ran the other day. Again, to be able to throw himself like that and still win, even though Chacun Pour Soi made my day, to be honest, the second that made my day. So I'm just going to make a case for Captain Guinness, and it's not going to be a long monologue, don't worry, but that when he was second, and I know Blue Lord isn't really what we thought he was, or maybe he's just having an off season or whatever, but Christmas at Leopardstown, if you go off, he was second, Captain Guinness was second to him, Chacun Pour Soi was third. Look at how Chacun has come back. Okay, it has benefited him going back to his 2 miles or whatever. So I kind of go off that. I think Rachel isn't going over for no reason, especially with it being such a big week over here. They have to think he has a live chance. The problem is with the horses that he boils over. He is spicy, and he probably pops before he blows it before or halfway through, and then gets tired. So I mean, will I look at him at 5-1 because Rachel's gone over? Of course I will. Grenadine, he's just been too far back this year for me. I don't know whether time or something's catching up with him. I have heaps of respect. 2021, 2022. And John Bon. Constitution Hill, El Fabiolo, Kilcrut is out tomorrow. See how Kilcrut runs too, because he finished behind John Bon last year with Con Hill. I think, to be honest with you, John Bon is the winner here. If he's going to prove himself and prove how good he is going forward. Yes, it's 12 days on, but that was a 43-length win. And I know he's up against really good horses here, but I think he can do it.
Okay. No vote for John Bon. Moving on to the 2:15, the Bet365 Gold Cut, obviously won last year by Hewick. And Jay, Kitty's Light is making a bit of a quick reappearance here. What do you make of that?
Yeah, listen, I think winning the Scottish National was it was brilliant. Obviously, Christian's had a bit of a tough time at home with his daughter having leukemia, and racing has a funny way of kind of I don't know, showing that sort of humility, doesn't it? And it that was a very, very special win, I think, to a lot of people. And It was wonderful. Christian's a good guy. He's brilliant at producing these horses on the day. He's not had the best of seasons, but yeah, he's gone and delivered an Ida and a Scottish National. Kitty's like, I think is £6 well in here, isn't he?
Yep. Yeah.
So that would be great, but it'll be tough. But he did win well. He doesn't jump very well, does he? I mean, jumping the last, he kind of hurdled it somehow, didn't he? I don't know how he got from one side to the other, but he managed it. But no, so I think he's a worthy favourite. But I don't know. Enrillo obviously probably should have won it a couple of years ago. Was it last year?
It was the year before, I think.
Third the year before, didn't he? I think.
Yeah.
Scrimmaging, wasn't it? Do you remember?
Yeah. Kitty's Light was third or fourth that day as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I think perhaps at the prices, Enrillo at 8-1 might be worth a chance.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a shame Hewick isn't here because it would have left Frodon on a nice little weight, but now he's got a lump 12 stone around, so that's a bit of a shame. But Frodon will give it a good go from the front. When do you think, Jamie?
He will, and obviously he won the Badger Beer off a decent weight, so he's well able to do it. But perhaps he might not be the horse that he was back then, and it kind of opens up the gap for some of the others carrying a lot less weight. So yeah, I think Enrillo carrying 10 stone 5, 8-1. I think that's a decent bet.
Yeah, Matthew, this is your type of race, isn't it?
Well, I actually agree with Jamie. I think Enrillo's the bet in this race. He last won off 138, although it was a while ago. He's off 137. It looks like Nichols has planned this race out for him. He's obviously been quite lightly raced. He must have had problems over the last couple of years. He's only ran 5 times or 6 times in the last 2 or 3 years. But it looks like this is a race that Paul Nichols had in mind for this horse. We know he jumps well around the track, and I just think this horse going to be cherry ripe for the day. I'm going to give a little mention to Court Master as well. Michael Scudamores. The horse is a fantastic jumper. Runs really well fresh. It's had 137 days off. Likes good ground. Obviously, it's out the handicap, but Bo Morgan, Luca's brother, who works with me, he's got the ride on it. He's a fantastic value for £7, which almost offsets him being out the weights.
Yeah.
So he could run a decent race. He's about 40, 50 to 1. I think he could run a big race.
Yeah. I like one at a big price as well. And the yard obviously having the best of seasons, and that's Musical Slave. Aidan's doing 10 stone 2. And from what I understand, that's the lowest weight he's done all season. So he's not doing that for nothing. Good ground is key with this lad. Second last year off 130, 133 now. He won a Vets race Exeter in February on good ground. I just think if the rain doesn't come, then he's a decent bet at 20s. But if it does, I think T-Clip is very interesting. Lightly raced this season, 6th in the Ultimate, placed in a couple of handicaps, and he could run a big race. Dawn, are you going back in with Kitty's Light?
Well, I did privately last week. I mean, I know it wasn't on record, but I did. And I just, like Jamie said, for racing has a funny way of, bringing out the romance, and it was perfect. And you'd only hope that it brings out the romance again. And that little horse just seems to know and just seems to do. And no, he doesn't really jump, but he's still well able to. He's a bit of a freak, really, a bit like Tiger Roll. He reminds me of Tiger in ways. Will I go back in? I will go back in at 4-1 because I'm loyal to him. The Goffer to me at 10-1 as well, because of Dublin Racing Festival. It was one of Davy's last wins over with us this side. And if we're going to go off, which I know it's perplexing to people after the Gold Cup yesterday with fast or slow, we're all talking about now, well, the Ultima form. Well, the Goffer was 4th in the Ultima, so you can't disregard him. He pulled up in the Irish National, so you hope he'd come out of that all right. Sean Bowen's up, and Cavello I quite like down the weights, 10-3. Rex Stingle's up 14-1 for Chris Gordon. He has 6 wins. He pulled up in the Hunt Cup at Cheltenham, but he's beaten Jeffrey's Cross, who I'm quite fond of, who won 19 days ago. So, And an each way play, I like Coolvala. The Goffer again, he's decent at 10-1, and I'd only be too happy to see Kitty's Light do that. That would be some achievement, and that would make the papers. And that's what you want for the end of the season. You want romance and you want stories. So monetary wise, it's the Goffer or Coolvala for me, but my heart goes with Kitty's Light.
You like a bit of romance, Jay?
I'm hoping Dawn picked the winner there when she mentioned Coolvala. He's a really progressive staying chaser. He's absolutely flying through the handicaps. He started his winning streak off a mark of 90. He's now up to 135. Very ambitious, running him in the National Hunt chase, and to be honest, he was completely out of his depth in that. I think he pulled up with about 2 or 3 to jump. He's since come back out and won again though, which now means he's 5-5 in handicap chases. He's actually unbeaten in handicap chases, and last time out he beat Rebels Hill fair and square. Now Coolvala's 16-1 and Rebels Hill's second favourite 11-2 here. I don't really understand the price difference in them. Obviously he has gone up the handicap a lot, but he hasn't shown no signs of stopping. Coolvala, he's a 7-year-old, and 7-year-olds won the last 2 run-ins of this, so I think he's still probably got a little bit up his sleeve off a mark of 135. He'll be the one for me.
Okay, moving on to the 250 now, the Greater Oaksey Chase Manor Trophy, 2 mile 6, and Paul Nicholls has 2 lined up here, Solo and Fabulous. Solo seems to be the #1 pick, and Jamie, you're well placed to judge Solo this year. Obviously, he beat Git Maker of Yours back in November in Handicap Company, and since then he's beat That's Right Gina in the Pendle. So, how do you rate Solo? He seems to be a horse who's improved massively.
He has. I don't like him. No, listen. He's obviously a very, very talented individual. He was a very good juvenile. When he France, obviously he won at Kempton, and he was it was a very, very short price for the Triumph, I think, that year, wasn't he? But kind of bombed out. Taking him a moment to kind of really get to grips with perhaps English racing, and he's a very talented individual. There's absolutely no doubting that, and he won the Pendle very, very impressively. I was surprised he didn't turn up at Ayr last week. I really thought that was the race they were going to go for, and I was actually nervous about that because obviously he'd beaten That's Right Gino. But I think they've been targeting this race. Obviously, Johnny De La Haye loves Kempton and Sandown and Ascot, and I think they've very much been targeting this race. So I think on the balance of that, I'm definitely thinking Solo's going to win this race. McFabulous, I'm not sure about McFabulous. When he's good, and when he's bad, he's horrid. So I can't really get to grips with him first blow. Fantastic Lady obviously ran brilliantly at Aintree, but had a hard race, and that was only 15 days ago. Hewick obviously been a star, but I'm not sure. I haven't really been taken by Hewick myself. Now, rather, Alan's kind of, perhaps been there, done that, and got the T-shirt, and might not be the horse of old. So I think Solo's the one here.
Yeah, I have to agree. I really like Solo. Well, Fabulous, obviously, Lorcan's back on. Lorcan hasn't rode him since he won on this card last year in that select hurdle. So if Lorcan get a tune out of him, he'll probably go close, but he's just never really done anything for me. Jay, would you be a Fabulous fan? He's one of them horses which I can't get to grip with.
Just can't trust him really. Either win or pull up is like it's so hard to predict that horse. Obviously from a young age, even in his bumpers, he promised the world, didn't he?
Yeah.
Paul Nicholls was always saying he was a chaser, and he seemed to take a while to actually send him chasing. So I'd imagine this horse had probably had more issues than we'd ever know. I couldn't be trusting him. The one I'd love to win, and I probably won't back him, but I'd love to see Fairflow win this. I really like Kim Bailey as a trainer, but he's had a really grim season. He's obviously 11 now, Fairflow. He has been a class horse on his day. He's not getting any better. He's not getting any younger. The rain coming, that is forecast, would do him the world of good. The age he is now, he's trying a new trip a little bit further. I'd love to see him go well. Also as well, just on Hewick, he has been some success story, this horse. The fall he took in the Gold Cup was one of the worst falls I've ever seen any horse take. I honestly feared the worst when I seen that. It turned my stomach watching it. It wasn't nice. Just to see him get up after that was amazing to see, and if he could come back and win a Grade 2 after that, that would be really nice.
Okay. And Dawn, we spoke about Fabulous. I just realised in my notes in February he was found to have an irregular heartbeat. So is that a worry for you, Fabulous, going forward?
It is. I know, like Jamie will back me up here. It's something that you can, Matty, as well. You can watch and you can monitor and everything else. But the way he went out like a light in his last race, as opposed to some of the other runs, you'd wonder is something inside going on. And like Jay was saying, you know, he's more issues than Vogue, really, God love him. And you just hope that the old heart isn't starting to cause him problems now when there's strain and when there's pressure. I like the horse. I really, really do. I see Lorcan's up. But I couldn't, not with the way he went out like a light last time, and I could be eating my words. Solo, not only that's all right, Gino, in there, you've got Editor de Gite as well. So even if you're waiting to put your little bit of money on, see how Editor runs and then go and hang it on Solo. As for me, you know where I'm going to go with this, and it's Ewick all the way. You've got Rachel up. We all know Rachel started with Shark. So it would be, again, I'm going for the romance factor. I don't want the money in this. I want the romance factor. And he blew my socks off at Galway. He absolutely blew my socks off. And then what he done in America, and none of us listened to him. And Shark kept saying it and kept saying it. And he did what he did. And he was Horse of the Year. And I was only too happy to see him get up. I was shouting at the television, get up, Hewitt, just get up after the Gold Cup. And thank God he did. And Shark wouldn't be sending him over if he wasn't right. And he came out of that Gold Cup yesterday, and that was probably right too, because that Gold Cup was frustrating and weird and head scratching and everything else. But it would only make my heart sing should Rachel win this race. So yeah, you could keep all your horses. I want Ewick and Rachel for this all the way. Head, heart, and everything else I have.
Matty, what about you? Are you coming over to the Solo camp?
I'm actually I quite like Eldorado Allen. A bit controversial, I know, but I thought he ran a fantastic race at Aintree the last day. He was fifth, beaten 9 lengths. He carried 12 stone, and he jumped from fence to fence. He jumped like an absolute buck. He carried 12 stone, 158. We actually had the second and fourth in the race, and we obviously think a lot of them. Eldorado Allen give us a lot of weight off both of them horses. And obviously Hewitt would be great for the papers, and it'd be a great story. But I actually don't think he jumps that well. Although he won the Bet 365 a couple of years ago. He was off a mark of 149 that day. So he could headbutt every fence and still win. So I don't know. And if this rain comes, you can put a line straight through Hewitt. He needs good ground. I know I was really taken with Eldorado Allen at Aintree. I thought he jumped great, carried a lot of weight, but he is an early horse, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely is.
He's just an early horse, so I don't know. But if I was having a play, it'd be Eldorado Allen.
Okay. Nice split panel for that race. So the 25 past 3 now. Josh given obviously his handicap chase. Staying with you, Matty, because Quinto de Lamar horse that's had a fair bit of success for you, and he's a decent horse on his day, isn't he?
On his day, he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I've ridden him every day for the last 3 years. He's taken me to Aintree, Cheltenham. He's ran 2 Lanzarottis, and he was a relatively cheap purchase. I think he only cost 35 grand. On his day, he's very, very good. We put the cheap pieces on him for Fontwell the last day when he won over fences, which seemed to bring out some sort of improvement, like massive improvement in his jumping game. Sandown is going to be a test for him, jumping wise. Yeah. And obviously, I could just wish I could tell you he wins. There's no point anyone else running any other horses in the race. But I've got to side with him. But if I was going to pick one to go against him, it'd be Hudson de Grugy.
Yeah.
Obviously, course and distance winner. only got put £3. He's still well in on his hurdle form. He's 133 over hurdles. He's 126 over fences. So there's £7 leeway there. And obviously, course and distance form around Sandown's massive.
He's one that will need the rain, though, won't he?
He will need the rain, yes, he will. Whereas Quinta doesn't want rain; he likes good ground. So if the rain comes, Hudson to Grugy. If it doesn't, Quinta.
I like it. Jamie, this is a very competitive race, and obviously Nichols is he's thrown a few darts at it.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a long shot here. Actually, Mumbo Jumbo, 12-1.
Okay.
Emma Laval's horses. She's not had the best of winters, but she seems to be coming out of it now and having a few winners. Mumbo Jumbo was only 7 lengths behind both Solo and Gitmaker that day at Sandown. Back up to that kind of mark, having gone very close the last day as well. So I think he looks to be on the improve, and at 12-1, I think on the figures, the RPRs, he comes out on top as well. So I think 12-1 for Mumbo Jumbo will be my call.
Yeah, I like that little diamond in the rough there, Jamie. Jay, you had a chance to look at it.
Yeah, I think Matty's given us the wrong Ben Paul on horse here. I actually like Harper's Bluff. As you know, I am a big fan of that horse, so I'll be slightly biased in his favour. He absolutely loved running with cheek pieces on from the front in the Ultimate for 3/4 of the race, and then probably just didn't see it out. I thought stepping him back down to 2 mile 4, cheek pieces back on. I thought he had the same type of tactics, but obviously I'm not sure why the cheek piece are being left off. I'd imagine they'd be holding him up, and he is a strong traveller, so they'll probably let him try and come through horses like he was doing previously. I think he'll run a good race here. I think Sandown, obviously the Dipper, he didn't jump that well in the Dipper, and then when they went back to Cheltenham for the handicap, proper competitive Ultimate, the cheap pieces, he led them all, and he jumped absolutely perfect. So I really would have liked to see the cheap pieces on the same tactics again, but we'll have to see what they do with that. But he would be the horse for me, Harper's Bluff, like.
Okay. And Dawn, is there any need to ask you, because you are a massive fan of Quinta, as we know?
I'm glad me and Matty are singing off the same hymn sheet, but now Jay is saying Matty's withholding. So I don't know, I'm very confused. The story of my life. Hudson de Grugy, though, for me, if Quinto, like Matty was saying about ground wise and everything else, because I know he's reliant on that. What I like is that he won 47 days ago, beating Quel Destin. I'm going with the Goshen factor later on with Quel Destin, which you're going to really enjoy. Was 4th to solo at Sandown in November, and Jamie's Jitmaker was 2nd that day, so that's where I'm going with that approach too. So you've got Solo in here for the case for Solo, and he's won 4 times at Sandown, so you'd be reckless to ignore him. So I like him at 4-1, and after hearing what Matty is saying, if he's not withholding, I'd be looking at Quinto too, but Hudson de Grugy looks the winner for me at 4-1.
Okay. We're on to the 4 o'clock Sunday now, the Bet365 Select Hurdle Grade 2. And Jamie, I might be being a bit harsh here, but this every year seems a bit of a rogue's race.
Yeah, listen, if you go and win a Grade 2 round Sandown on the last day of the season, you don't mind whether you're a rogue or not, do you? Unfortunately, I haven't got a horse running in it, but listen, it's a good race. I mean, brilliant names, all of them, all through. I've always been a fan of Time Hill. I don't know, silly as it might sound, sometimes he's let us down, hasn't he? But he is a smashing horse, and I think on the figures he gets in well here. Stiff track, dropping back and trip. I know he's been running over 3 miles, but I don't know. Strange things have happened, and as everyone said, Philip and Johnson haven't had the best of seasons. But it'd be nice to see this chap going and winning a big one on the last day of the season.
Do you see him going back over fences again, or do you think that's it now? He's staying over hurdles.
When he's good over a fence, isn't he?
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously he beat McFabulous. He looked good at Exeter. He looked good. Where was it? Around Kempton, wasn't it? Yeah. When he's good, he's good. But listen, he's a 9-year-old. Maybe he's gone to chasing a little bit late, and maybe hurdling is his bag.
Yeah. And Jay, when we spoke about you coming on this week, I know where you come on because your old friend Goshen's running, isn't he?
His name should be banned from podcast, Joe. Gets far too much airtime.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat as you.
No, I agree with Jamie. Like Time Hill, I think, is as good as a certainty as you're going to get on a field at Sandown. He's the only horse in this who was close to. Well, he was a Grade 1 horse. He'd won Grade 1s. He'd been beaten photos in Grade 1s. He'd been placed in Grade 1s. He's a solid horse. Back in trip here, I don't think it'll be an issue for him. I think having Tom O'Brien back will be a huge bonus as well. He never really convinced me as a chaser, Time Hill, and he is only a small horse, and I think he did have that many goals at Grade 1s, and he was always finding one better than him, whether it was Paisley Park or Champ or whoever it was, and he probably just sort of rolled the dice and thought, let's have a go at novice chasing. And to be fair, he won a Grade 1 over fences at Kempton. I think it was a soft Grade 1, but like Jamie said, if you win a Grade 1, you're not bothered how soft or how hard they are to Grade 1 at the end of the day. Obviously, he's out of his depth at Cheltenham at that level, and I think coming back hurdling here, I think I'd be surprised if any of these are good enough to trouble him. I'd have him about 6-4 in this race.
Really?
And keep him hurdling again next season, yeah. Obviously, he's 9 now. He's probably at his peak. He'd probably be on the decline slightly and stuff, but as time goes on, I think hurdling, you're going to get the best out of him. He'll struggle in fences next year, I think.
Okay, another vote for Time Hill. Dawn, my fingers hovering over the mute button, so be very careful.
Well, I could also talk about the flat tomorrow at Sandown. That'd be even more fun. Look, if Goshen did it, you can't. Are you doing it? You are doing it.
I'm there on Saturday. If Goshen wins, I'm walking straight out the gate.
Look, the Ascot win for me sticks in my mind. I know he was last back in February. I know that made people smile, but he's an enigma and people keep going back. And hope is a thing with feathers, or the thing with feathers. And we gamble, and that's what we do. And you take a gamble on Goshen. Forget about the Triumph Hurdle curse. Take a gamble on Goshen, I'm telling you. Time Hill, I understand. And if you want to go with Fab Hill, McFabulous, now I'm thinking of Constitution Hill. My mind's gone all over the place. McFabulous won this last year, and didn't Time Hill beat him this season, and then he bet him, and vice versa, or whatever else. And I do agree he was out of his depth at Cheltenham, and I don't understand the hype for him. Theatre Glory, the lady in the race. She was 6th. She belongs to Kerry Lee and the Canter Banter crew. Kerry is absolutely lovely. If you live on Twitter like myself, she's a great girl to follow. I thought Theatre Glory would come over to us for the good mares that's on Saturday, but I like her 6th in, as I call it now, Honeysuckle's race at Cheltenham, and that great 11-length win. So I know we had constantly mentioned her on the pod, and then when we didn't, she went out and won. So this time I'm covering bases, and I think she has a very, very good chance. Nico's up again. Nikki, what's not to like? So Theatre Glory for the sensible side of me. Goshen for the unsensible side. The heart wants what it wants, and that is what it wants.
Yeah, we'll give it a free pass for that one, because he is unbeaten at Sandown, to be fair to him.
Exactly, you see? There's still hope.
Matty, are we totally disregarding Call Me Lord? He loves Sandown.
Yeah, he's no point running him.
But you're not Goshen, are you, as well?
Oh no, don't be silly. I'm actually with Dawn's other selection, Theatre Glory. I thought she ran a great race in defeat behind the Queen, Honey. She's getting £9 off Goshen and Nappers Hill in this race. Obviously, she raced off levels with Honeysuckle that day. Can you see Theatre Nappers Hill and Goshen giving Honeysuckle £11 and being anywhere? No.
Can you put it all
out? She is getting was it £4 off the rest? I think she's got a cracking chance. Obviously, Time Hill is the one to beat, but he for me is not a nearly horse, but he's inconsistent. We don't know what Time Hill's going to turn up on the day. Yeah, I think Theatre Glory is a good bet in this race, to be fair.
Okay, another vote for Theatre Glory. So moving to the final race of the season now, 4:35. Won last year by Samurai for Paul Nicholls and Harry Cobden. He is back for more, but ICO is favourite for, again, the Paul Nicholls team, and Harry Cobden is on him. Obviously, I tipped him up on heavy ground last time out. I was surprised to see him so short, but then the forecast rain is coming for him. So if the rain does come and the going does change to soft, ICO could be hard to beat. But Jamie, this is, again, Paul Nicholls, mob-handed, loves this meeting. He's got the first two in the market. Do you see the winner coming out of them two?
Yeah, I do. We beat ICO with Hardy Desoy at Sandown earlier this season. A great performance by our horse, but obviously ICO was coming back from a bit of an absence. I was quite cock-a-hoot that we keep the form in the Imperial Cup, but obviously ICO improved enormously from the back of finishing second to Hardy Desoy. I'm running Hardy at Chepstow tomorrow to avoid ICO. So yeah, I think ICO is going to win this.
Okay, nice confident vote. Dawn, ICO?
Well, I like. Yeah, I disregard him before. I liked him, especially way back when with the Triumph trial with Pied Piper. And, I often go off Pied Piper, who's running a Punchestown tomorrow, who I will be going back for more for. He's got the cheek pieces on. When he bet Knickerbocker Glory a couple of weeks ago, I kicked myself because I think it was both you and Harry, Joe, that marked him up. So, it was foolish to disregard, and especially with Jamie saying there about Hardy Desoy as well, going to Chepstow tomorrow. So be interesting to see what way he runs. Sorry. And then ICO. So, okay, if you want to go sensibly, I'd say ICO. I do like, and I mentioned him a while ago, and he's by the great Sindar. He's Auchenrisk's half-brother. Borborelli, Joe Tizard's Brendan Powell is up. He was fourth to Teddy Blue at Plumpton. The half-brother Auchenrisk was third that day. He was only beaten 5 lengths and he weakened. I thought he could have come closer. He's been second at Sandown, to west of the bridge, the Skeletons. He was second to Grey Dawning. And I know Grey Dawning came down with a bit of a spill, but I still have a lot of hope with him as well. Love him. That day as well, if you want to go off the Theatre Glory form, she was third to him. So there's that as well. He's only got 10-10. He's 3 wins on the bounce last spring. And he's won at Sandown on good to soft. So I like him. I think he's value and I think he's been disregarded. ICO, I think, wins, but as I always go for my each way play with his relations, and I loved the great Sindar, I'm going to go with Borborelli each way.
Okay, another vote for ICO.
Joe, I don't need to be. I'm going to try and buy a horse at Punchestown, so I might have to wonder if.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Good luck, Jamie.
Good
Thanks,
luck, Jamie.
All the best, Jamie. We'll see you
All
see you
the
soon.
See you
Take
soon.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, what do you fancy?
I like ICO as well. If you look at like some of the horses Paul Nicholls has had as juveniles, like Clandazor, both Frodon, Solo was another one. I think they all ran in the Triumph, or was hoped to run in the Triumph. I know Solo bolted up in the Adonis at Kenton. Never done much good, but with a bit of time, they've obviously come good in time. I don't think this horse is going to be anything like them, but I do think he will be along the lines of like give him time and he'll be a much better horse down the line. I think he'll run through some handicaps. Like he's probably going to be hard to beat in this.
Is it a full house, Matty?
Yeah, it should be. I think this could be a graded horse in a handicap. Obviously, he's not the easiest horse to deal with. He is quite hot-headed, and I mean, he only got nudged up £5 for that win in the Imperial Cup. He won that with plenty in hand, I thought.
Yeah, I do.
If the rain comes, we run Fine Caston in the race. He was 4th in the Imperial Cup behind ICO last time, and Fine Caston didn't jump a twig. He jumped terrible. And I thought he ran really well to finish 4th that day. We've got obviously a little bit more of a weight swing this time. I'm not saying we'll beat ICO, but I think we could run it close and run better than the bearers up the last day. but we do need. He does rely on soft ground.
I think that's the thing with Isio as well. I think if you look back at his form now, he probably just is a typical French bred horse who wants soft ground. His disappointments come on good ground. I can't remember where he ran, but he had 2 goals on good or good to soft, and he was abysmal in both of them. But then back on heavy and soft, he's been absolutely fine going forward.
Yeah, that's the way I'm thinking. If the rain doesn't come, he definitely would have taken on. But if the rain does come, he's obviously got as good a chance as any. And we've all picked him. So with Racing Social going out with a big win or going out with a whimper. So strongest selection of the day, mate.
Strongest selection of the day.
Go on, go with him.
Quinta, go on then.
Jay?
Time Hill.
Oh no. Dawn?
Definitely.
Here's a glory.
Are you going to go the G word then?
No, I'm not that mad. God, I'm not as mad as him. I'm close.
Right, so that concludes the Racing Social weekend preview, and that is the jump season done and dusted. Everyone, I'd like to thank you for your efforts this season. Been superb. And Jamie, if you are watching, then thanks for tonight and all your efforts. And hopefully we'll pick you some winners. And it's been a good season for you all. And we'll see you maybe on the flat season. Not me, but I'm sure these 3 will be back. So see you soon.